Stop scrolling for a second. This is the moment. This is the message that could shift everything. Watch this every day and change your life. Not because it's some magic pill or quick fix, those don't exist. Life doesn't transform because you stumbled on a viral video or got a sudden burst of inspiration. It changes when you change. And that change? It's not a loud, dramatic explosion. It's quiet. It's daily. It's in the choices you make when no one's watching. Watch this once, and it'll spark something. Watch it every day, and it'll rebuild you from the ground up. Because here's the truth, the world doesn't shift until you do. Every morning, you get a choice. A silent, powerful moment before the chaos kicks in. You can either repeat yesterday, same habits, same distractions, same autopilot, or you can step into something new. That moment when you first open your eyes? It's not just another morning. It's your chance to set the tone, to decide who you're going to be today. Most people miss it. They wake up, grab their phone, and before they've even taken a deep breath, they're drowning in notifications, emails, and noise. They're not living, they're reacting. They're not creating, they're recycling. And then they wonder why their life feels like a loop. Here's the deal, most people aren't stuck because they lack talent or ambition. They're stuck because they lack a ritual. They don't have a system to protect that first hour of the day, the one that sets the stage for everything else. That hour is sacred. It's where you decide whether you're going to lead your day or let it lead you. Miss it, and you're just coasting on yesterday's momentum. Nail it, and you're building something new, something intentional. The gap between who you are and who you want to be? It's not a canyon. It's a single choice. 1 hour. 1 breath. One decision to stop letting the world run your mind before you do. When you dedicate that first hour to yourself, not to your inbox, not to social media, but to you, something shifts. You're not just going through the motions anymore. You're creating momentum. You're not reacting to the world's noise, you're generating your own energy. You're not chasing someone else's agenda, you're setting your own. That's where the magic happens, not in some big, cinematic moment, but in the quiet, consistent choices that stack up over time. You don't need to overhaul your life in a day. You just need to show up for yourself, every single day, with purpose. This isn't about motivation. Motivation is fleeting, it's like trying to run a marathon on a sugar high. This is about structure. It's about training your mind to prioritize what matters before the world gets its hands on you. It's about choosing what goes into your head when it's most open, most moldable, right when you wake up. That's when your brain is soft, ready to absorb. Feed it noise, and you'll spend the day scattered. Feed it clarity, and you'll move with intention. That's the difference between drifting and directing, between surviving and thriving. So, here's the challenge, make this message your morning ritual. Not just today, not just when you're feeling inspired, but every single day. Let it be the first thing you hear, the first thing you absorb. Let it remind you who you are before the world tries to tell you otherwise. Because change doesn't come from a one-time epiphany. It comes from repetition. It comes from showing up, again and again, until the person you want to be isn't just a dream, it's who you are. Ready for the next part? Let me know. Let's keep this fire going. You've heard the call, watch this every day and change your life. But let's get real, change isn't about a single, aha moment. It's about what you do with the hours that follow. Most people think transformation is this big, loud event, like a movie montage where everything clicks. Nope. It's in the small, quiet choices you make when the world isn't watching. It's in the discipline to show up for yourself, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where the real work happens. Think about your mornings. That first hour? It's your blank canvas. Before the emails pile up, before the notifications start buzzing, before the world starts pulling at you, that's your window. Most people hand it over without a fight. They wake up, check their phone, and let the noise take over. They're not even out of bed, and they're already reacting to someone else's agenda. That's not living, that's surrendering. You want to change your life? Stop giving away your mornings. Protect that time like it's gold, because it is. Here's the truth, your day doesn't start when you leave the house or clock into work. It starts the second you open your eyes. That moment sets the tone for everything else. If you begin scattered, scrolling, stressing, rushing, you're already behind. But if you start with intention, with a ritual that grounds you, you're not just keeping up, you're leading. You're not waiting for life to hand you clarity, you're creating it. And that clarity? It compounds. One good morning becomes 2, then 10, then 100. Suddenly, you're not the same person anymore. So, what does that ritual look like? It's not about perfection or some Instagram-worthy routine. It's about carving out space to check in with yourself. Maybe it's 5 minutes of deep breathing to calm your nervous system. Maybe it's journaling one thought to clear the mental fog. Maybe it's this video, this message, playing in your ears to remind you who you're becoming. Whatever it is, make it yours. Make it non-negotiable. Because the moment you commit to that ritual, you're not just going through the motions, you're programming your mind for power. Here's what most people miss, your brain is always learning. Every single day, it's soaking up inputs, sights, sounds, thoughts, habits. If you're not intentional about what you feed it, the world will decide for you. Scroll through drama, and your brain learns to crave it. Binge on negativity, and your mind starts to expect it. But feed it purpose, feed it focus, feed it silence, and it starts to rewire. That's why this message matters. It's not just words, it's a signal. It's a reminder to choose what shapes you before the world does. And let's talk about discipline. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's not about feeling motivated or waiting for the perfect mood. Discipline is showing up when you're tired, when you're doubting, when you'd rather hit snooze. It's choosing to act even when the world feels heavy. That's where strength is built, not in the big wins, but in the quiet moments when you keep your promises to yourself. Every time you do that, you're telling your brain, I'm someone who shows up. And over time, that becomes your identity. You're one morning away from starting this. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Protect that first hour. Feed your mind something that lifts you, not something that drags you. Let this message be your anchor, your reminder that you're not here to drift, you're here to build. Ready for more? Hit me up for the next part. You're still here, and that's a choice. You're choosing to lean into this, watch this every day and change your life. That's not just a catchy title, it's a call to action. Because life doesn't shift by hoping or wishing. It shifts when you decide to take control of what you let into your mind, especially in those first moments of the day. The world is loud, relentless, and it's not going to wait for you to get your head straight. That's why you have to claim that space first. You have to build a ritual that's stronger than the noise. Let's talk about what happens when you don't. Most people wake up and dive straight into chaos. They check their phone, scroll through feeds, let the world's drama set the tone. And just like that, their day is hijacked. Their energy? Scattered. Their focus? Gone. They're not even out of bed, and they're already playing catch-up with someone else's priorities. That's not a morning, it's a surrender. You want to know why people feel stuck? It's not because they don't want more. It's because they've handed their power over to the noise before they've even had a chance to think. Now, imagine this, you wake up, and instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for silence. You sit with your breath for a minute. You listen to this message, or you write down one thing you're grateful for, one thing you're committed to today. You don't need an hour, 5 minutes can start the shift. That tiny act of intention is like planting a seed. It's small, quiet, but it grows. Every day you do it, you're telling your brain, I'm in charge here. You're training yourself to start with clarity, not chaos. And that clarity? It's the foundation for everything else. Here's the science of it: your brain is most open in the morning. It's like a sponge, soaking up whatever you give it. Feed it distractions, and it learns to chase them. Feed it purpose, and it starts to crave that instead. That's why your morning ritual isn't just a feel-good habit, it's a reprogramming tool. It's how you teach your mind to prioritize what matters. You don't need to meditate for an hour or run a marathon before breakfast. You just need to start with something that aligns you with who you want to be. A thought. A breath. A moment of focus. That's enough to tilt the day in your favor. And here's the thing about rituals: they don't just change your mornings, they change your identity. Every time you choose to show up for yourself, you're building a version of you that doesn't bend to every distraction. You're not just trying to be disciplined, you're becoming someone who is disciplined. That's what repetition does. It's not about willpower, it's about wiring. You repeat something enough, and it stops being effort. It becomes who you are. That's why this message isn't a one and done. It's a daily anchor, a reminder to keep showing up until the new you feels like home. So, what's your move? You don't need to overhaul your life today. You just need to start. Pick one thing. Maybe it's listening to this, maybe it's a quick journal entry, maybe it's 3 deep breaths before you touch your phone. Make it small, make it yours, but make it daily. That's how you build momentum. That's how you stop reacting and start creating. You're not here to drift through life, you're here to shape it. Want the next piece? Let me know. You're back for more, and that's a sign you're serious. Watch this every day and change your life isn't just a feel-good phrase, it's a blueprint. It's about understanding that transformation isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. You don't wake up one day and suddenly arrive at your dream life. You build it, brick by brick, morning by morning, choice by choice. And the most powerful choice? It's what you do with the first moments of your day, before the world starts pulling you in 100 directions. Let's get real about what's at stake. Every morning, you're programming your mind, whether you mean to or not. If you wake up and let the world's noise flood in, texts, news, social media, you're letting someone else write the code for your day. You're training your brain to react, to scatter, to chase. But if you take that moment back, if you start with something that centers you, you're the one writing the code. You're telling your mind, this is who I am. This is what I value. And over time, that's what sticks. Think about it like this: your mind is a garden. What you plant in the morning grows all day. Plant distractions, and you'll spend your day tangled in weeds, stressed, unfocused, drained. Plant clarity, and you'll grow focus, calm, purpose. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Maybe your ritual is listening to this message while you sip your coffee. Maybe it's a quick walk to clear your head. Maybe it's writing down one goal for the day. Doesn't matter how small it is, what matters is that it's yours, and you do it every day. Here's what's wild: those small moments compound. One morning of focus might not feel like much, but stack 100 of them, and you're a different person. You're not just trying to be better, you're living it. Your confidence grows because you're keeping promises to yourself. Your focus sharpens because you're training your brain to ignore the noise. Your energy shifts because you're not starting your day in a reactive frenzy. That's how change happens, not in a flash, but in a slow, steady burn that reshapes who you are. And let's talk about the noise for a second. The world is designed to pull you off track. Notifications, drama, endless to-do lists, they're all fighting for your attention. If you don't have a ritual to anchor you, you'll get swept away. You'll spend your day putting out fires instead of building your future. But when you start with a ritual, you're not just surviving the noise, you're rising above it. You're saying, I decide what matters today. That's power. Not the loud, flashy kind, but the quiet, unshakable kind that changes everything. So, here's your assignment: make your morning sacred. Not complicated, not perfect, just yours. Pick one thing that grounds you. Maybe it's this video, maybe it's a moment of gratitude, maybe it's a single stretch to wake your body. Do it tomorrow. Do it the next day. Do it when you're tired, when you're busy, when you don't feel like it. Because that's the secret: change doesn't come from feeling ready, it comes from showing up. You're not here to wait for life to happen. You're here to make it happen. Want the next part? Just say the word. You're still here, and that means you're not just listening, you're ready to act. Watch this every day and change your life isn't about chasing a fleeting high. It's about building something real, something lasting. It's about understanding that the life you want isn't found in a single moment of inspiration, it's forged in the daily grind of showing up for yourself. The secret isn't in big gestures, it's in the small, relentless choices that rewire your brain and reshape your reality. Let's talk about what you're really after: peace, confidence, focus. Those aren't things you stumble across in a self-help book or a lucky break. They're not gifts the world hands you when the timing's right. They're skills. They're muscles. And like any muscle, they grow through resistance, through repetition, through showing up even when it's hard. Peace isn't the absence of chaos, it's the ability to stay calm in the middle of it. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's the trust you build by keeping your word to yourself. Focus isn't a mood, it's a habit you train by cutting through the noise, day after day. Here's how it works: every morning, you get a clean slate. That first hour is when your mind is most open, most ready to absorb what you give it. If you fill it with distractions, scrolling, stressing, rushing, you're training your brain to stay scattered. But if you fill it with intention, a deep breath, a clear thought, this message, you're teaching it to stay grounded. That's why your ritual matters. It's not about doing something productive for the sake of checking a box. It's about setting the tone for who you're becoming. It's about choosing what voice gets to speak to you first. And let's be clear, the world isn't going to make this easy. Your phone will buzz. Your inbox will overflow. Life will throw curveballs before you've even had your coffee. That's why your ritual has to be non-negotiable. It's your anchor in the storm. It's the one thing you do for yourself before the world starts asking for pieces of you. Maybe it's 5 minutes of silence to hear your own thoughts. Maybe it's repeating a mantra that reminds you of your strength. Maybe it's this video, hitting your ears like a daily reset. Whatever it is, make it sacred. Protect it like it's the key to your future, because it is. Here's the deeper truth: every time you choose your ritual over the noise, you're building more than a habit, you're building trust. Trust in yourself. Every time you say, I'm going to do this, and then you do it, you're sending a signal to your subconscious: I'm someone who follows through. That's where confidence comes from. Not from likes, not from applause, but from the quiet victories no one else sees. That's where focus is born, not from a perfect environment, but from teaching your mind to stay steady no matter what's going on around you. You don't need to change everything today. You just need to start. Pick one thing that aligns you with the person you want to be. Do it tomorrow morning. Do it the next day. Do it when you're exhausted, when you're doubting, when the world feels heavy. Because that's when it counts. That's when you prove to yourself that you're not just dreaming of a better life, you're building it. Ready for the final part? Let me know. You've made it this far, and that's not nothing. You're here because you're ready to commit to something bigger. Watch this every day and change your life. This isn't about a one-time boost or a fleeting wave of motivation. It's about rewiring your life through the power of repetition, through choosing who you want to be every single day. The truth is, you're always being shaped, by the world, by your habits, by what you let into your mind. The question is, are you going to let the world write your story, or are you going to take the pen? Your mornings are the key. That first hour, before the chaos of the day kicks in, is when you set the stage. It's when your mind is soft, open, ready to be programmed. If you let the noise in, notifications, news, negativity, you're handing over your power. You're letting the world decide how you feel, how you think, how you move. But if you claim that time, if you fill it with something that strengthens you, you're not just starting your day, you're building your future. You're telling your brain, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. Here's the final piece: change doesn't happen because you hear something once. It happens because you live it, repeat it, embody it. The greatest minds, the strongest souls, the people who move mountains, they don't get there by chasing new ideas every day. They get there by mastering the basics, by returning to what matters, over and over. Monks chant the same mantras. Athletes drill the same moves. Artists practice the same strokes. Why? Because repetition isn't just practice, it's transformation. It's how you turn a thought into a belief into an action into an identity. So, make this your ritual. Not just this video, but the act of choosing yourself every morning. Maybe it's listening to this message to spark your fire. Maybe it's writing one sentence about who you're becoming. Maybe it's a moment of stillness to remind yourself you're more than the chaos around you. Whatever it is, do it daily. Do it when you're tired, when you're busy, when you don't feel like it. Because that's when it matters most. That's when you're not just talking about change, you're living it. And when you do this, something shifts. You stop chasing peace, you walk in it. You stop faking confidence, you radiate it. You stop begging for focus, you embody it. Not because you're perfect, but because you've trained yourself to show up. You've built a system that's stronger than your excuses, a rhythm that's louder than the world's noise. You start moving through life with a quiet strength that people notice, not because you're shouting, but because you're steady. You're present. You're you. This is your call to action. Don't let this be a one-time hit. Make it your morning alarm. Let it be the voice that reminds you who you are before the world tries to tell you otherwise. Subscribe, stay close, keep coming back, not for hype, but for structure. For the daily reminder that you're not here to drift, you're here to build. Repeat this. Live this. Train this. And watch how your life changes, not in a flash, but in a slow, powerful, undeniable wave. You're not just watching this, you're becoming it. Keep showing up.